Okay, it's Charlie here, and I'm making this video for two reasons. One is to increase your Sherpa rate, and the other is to actually make it easier to close clients. So not only are we going to optimize to actually increase your Sherpa rate, which is very important, we're also going to actually add some standard operating procedures. So when you get on that sales call, it's going to be like 5 times easier to actually close the client. Now, everything starts from when you actually book the meeting. So this is going to be after someone books in your calendar, what is going to happen, what are the workflows, what are the automations that I use, and essentially I'm going to show you everything, because there is nothing more frustrating than booking calls but then having them not show up. Like, my God, it annoys me so much. So I'm going to reveal my exact standard operating procedure for qualifying prospects and getting them to actually show up to the sales calls. So this is the perfect workflow for any agency. It doesn't really matter what niche or service you provide. If you're going to be booking calls, then you need this, and it's going to be great to actually optimize your sales calls to make them the best. So the two reasons are to increase your Sherpa rate, and the other is to actually help you close more deals. So let's actually look on the whiteboard what this actually looks like. So first of all, right, we've got Calendly. Now, as soon as someone books into your Calendly, and I'm actually going to be going over what qualifying questions you actually need to put in your Calendly to actually make the sales call, optimize and to make sure that your prospects are qualified. But once someone books in, right, we're going to connect Zapier to Google Sheets. Now, what this is going to do is, from the questions that we have in the Calendly before someone books a call, it's going to automatically add it to a row in Google Sheets for you. Then we upload that to Go High Level. That's just my CRM. Obviously, you don't have to use High Level, but that's just what I use. And then as soon as someone actually books a call, let's say they don't buy your service, right? We're going to have them do like follow-ups, which is going to be insane. We're going to get them to do email marketing, and you can even do SMS. So what I recommend doing is creating a sort of lead nurturing workflow in High Level after to sort of get them interested again. So if they don't buy, they're going to have follow-ups and stuff. So let's actually go into Calendly. So what you're going to need to do, right, is if you don't have an event, obviously you need to create your event. So for example, this is where you're going to actually take the sales call, and it's where they're going to be able to book an event. So let's just call it discovery call. And for a location, Google Meets is my preferred option. Obviously you can do Zoom, you can do whatever you want. I just like Google Meets. Then you can just put your description. This could be like a one-to-one call to help me learn more about your business. Anything, you can put whatever you want here, and then you're going to essentially save that. Now, once you've created the event, right, you then need to optimize for actual you need to optimize with the sales calls. So what we're going to do is, as you can see, there's going to be a date range. Now, this is like, it doesn't matter how experienced you are. I recommend everyone doing this. You're going to block it off, and you're going to do Calendly days, but you're only going to make it so they can only book maximum 7 to 10 days. I'm going to do 7 days. So 7 days into the future. Now, the reason we do this is, let me actually go back. The reason we do this, right, is because we don't want people booking too far in the future. Because if they do that, then it's going to decrease the actual time. It'll increase the time, so they're more likely to actually forget about the call they have with you. Whereas if someone books a call with you for tomorrow, they're most likely going to remember it because they literally just booked a call with you. So that's just one thing to keep in note. Duration, you can sort of make this whatever you want. I recommend 45-minute call. That's usually good. And then obviously you can set the custom hours that you're available. You can obviously take Sundays off. Depends how like hardcore you are. I used to have Sundays on because I used to take like sales calls on Sunday, but you don't have to do that. You can turn off the weekends if you want, but Monday to Friday, just put the times you're available. Some of you guys may be in school, high school, or just work a 9 to 5. So obviously change this to the times that you're available. And this essentially means that in between your events, you can have a buffer. So obviously, once you start booking like a lot of calls, like for me, I don't like to just sit on sales calls for like 10 hours a day. So I have a buffer of like 15 minutes, and you can change it however you want. So that means that you get time in between your sales calls that you can sort of chill and prepare for the next one. But if we just save that, right, now this is really important. You need more questions in this. This is just the basic thing that Calendly give you. You need a lot more. So first of all, delete this. So what I recommend, right, is name an email, and you're gonna ask a few questions. Now, obviously, these questions depend on what niche you're in. So, for example, some basic questions you need is like, how much revenue are you doing? So, how much revenue is your business doing per month? Or what is your MRR? That's probably a better one. And they can just make that a one line, make it required. So boom. Another question could be, what's your biggest problem? So these are just a few questions I recommend. And then obviously if you're getting inbound meetings or more like qualified meetings, you can put, are you willing to invest in yourself? Yes or no. That's just optional though. That's just something you can think about. But essentially, just make these questions what you want. Now, a secret tip, right, that not many people talk about is we're going to add a phone number. But we'll get onto the workflow in a minute, right? But we're going to make this required, because what you can do, right, is in Calendly, you can't actually make the text reminders required. However, if you make this required, that means that when someone books a call, you have their phone number. So if they don't show up to the call, you're going to phone them like minimum twice to increase the show up rate. And if they book from a different country, you can just use WhatsApp. What I found is about 85% of my prospects who book have WhatsApp. So then I call them on WhatsApp and I say, hey, it's Charlie, you booked a call. Do you need to reschedule or something like that? Then just save that. Obviously, you can add more questions than that if you want. But let's go to workflows. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to add workflows. Now, what this looks like is, obviously, I've got workflows for everything here already. But you can create a new workflow. And essentially what I recommend is doing, you need a few of these. You need a email reminder to host. So that's going to get, Calendly to send you an email when anyone books a call to you. Send an email to invitee. You can do a thank you one, but it's mainly the follow-ups, right? You're going to send a text reminder. So anytime someone books a meeting with you, you're going to get a text automatically, which is cool. And then what gets really interesting, or what makes me happy, is that whenever I go to sleep and I wake up and there's 5 to 10 meetings, that is what I like. You'll get there one day. But what you can do is text reminder to invitee. Now this is important, right? Sending text reminders to your prospects when they book a call is so important, because let's face it, everyone's on their phone, everyone's going to see that, and it just it makes them a lot more likely to show up. But then we're going to do something which not many people talk about, because like most YouTubers or agency influencers or whatever you want to call them, they would stop there and they would just tell you to do a few reminders. However, what you're going to do, right, and this is going to separate you from sort of other agencies, is you're going to create a 5-minute video. If you have Loom, which is just a recording sort of software, great. You don't have to do Loom, but it could be whatever. And you're going to create a 5-minute video going over some requests for the call. So for example, you could say on the call, please be ready at X time. I'm looking forward to, I'm excited to speak with you, something like that. And then if you have testimonials, you can put that in a Google Doc and essentially just create a Loom, just like what I'm doing here, right? And going over some testimonials, and then you're going to send that to them, or you're going to embed it in a text reminder and an email, an email to the prospect. So when someone books a call, they're going to get two emails. One is a confirmation, and another is an email with a 5-minute video that you've put in there, and it's just saying, hey, name, please watch this 5-minute video before you book a call. Now, the reason we do this is to increase social proof. So once someone watches that 5-minute video, they've spent time with you, that you're seen as the authority figure, there's social proof, and those factors contribute so much into the actual closing the client. It makes it 10 times easier. Trust me, I've done this. And it's something I didn't do, so I've actually done a before and after, and trust me, you have to put like a 5-minute video and send it to their email before you speak with them. essentially. It works so well. Now, so once you've done that and you've got the workflows essentially, then we're going to go to Zapier. Now, Zapier is essentially it's an automation tool that just makes it a lot easier. So we've got Calendly as a trigger, and what's going to happen, right, is it's going to create a spreadsheet row in Google Sheets when invitee created in Calendly. So whenever someone books a call, right, it's going to create a Google Sheets spreadsheet row with all their information. So if we go back to the Calendly, right, and we go to the actual, this one, I made this just for an example for YouTube, so you know how to sort of set it up. But essentially, when we go to the questions, all this data is going to get added to a Google Sheets automatically without you doing anything using Zapier, which is pretty crazy. And it's amazing because you can see the spreadsheet, and then obviously I recommend everyone to track their sales calls in terms of like metrics and KPIs, because it will just help you watching this to like get better essentially, because you know, like if you've got a sharp rate problem, you know if you struggle closing the client, if they agree to the agenda on the sales call, there's just so much benefit from actually tracking your data. So this will allow you to put all that information in an actual spreadsheet in Google Sheets, so you can look through that. But then let's actually go to the whiteboard, and then we just upload that to high level. So it's got their, for example, it's going to have their name, email, and phone number, and then that gets uploaded to high level, which means that we can do email campaigns and SMS campaigns if they don't buy the product, which is pretty good, because essentially what we want is follow-ups, we want lead nurturing, and eventually if they keep getting reminded and they've had a sales call with you, then eventually they will buy. But hopefully what you should try and do is just close them in a 45-minute call. Like that's the solution. But if you can't do that, then you need to get like high level or another email or SMS lead nurturing sort of CRM. But yeah, hopefully this helps like the beginners completely like starting out who need the Calendly configured in the right way, because it's super important you have these qualifying questions. It's super important you have the workflow set up, so you can essentially get email reminders, get them text reminders, get them that 5-minute video that they can see before the call, which will obviously because how it works, right, if you're thinking like why it actually helps so much, it's because if you've got good SOPs, standard operating procedures, in the like appointment booking side, and they see that, that's gonna sort of manifest, or they're gonna think that your service delivery is good because they've seen what your workflows and automations are like, so they will automatically assume that the service delivery will be 10 times better. That's just how people think. But hopefully this helps the beginners with their sharp rates, and it helps actually close the deals because they've seen a 5-minute video that you've put into the workflows of Calendly and stuff. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want one-to-one coaching, then I'm going to leave a link in the description. You'll get my systems on how I scaled my agency from $0 to $15,000 per month. Really insane stuff that you just won't find on YouTube in there. And obviously you can be coached by me and get everything that I know. So that's cool. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're new to the channel, then definitely subscribe, because I've got a lot more valuable content coming your way. But yeah, have a wonderful day, and I'm going to see you in the next video.